The annual Electronics Entertainment Expo is the event that gamers of all shapes, kinds, and skills eagerly await for new announcements, big reveals, and world premieres. And E3 never disappoints. The industry's biggest giants show face with their own individual press conferences, and sometimes those conferences can be hit or miss. Between Sony, Microsoft, Bethesda, EA, Square Enix, Nintendo, and Ubisoft, we got some really awesome showcases, but a few stood out more than the rest. So here's who won E3 2018. In third place, we've got Microsoft. Microsoft did a really good job with their conference this year, all things considered. The company is really stepping up to the competition. They showed off 50 titles, 18 of which were exclusives and 15 world premieres. They announced they acquired 5 stellar indie studios, including the studio behind We Happy Few, which got a release date, February 22, 2019. A teaser trailer for the new Halo game, titled Halo Infinite, had fans going wild at the start of their showcase. Gears of War 5, Devil May Cry 5, a Cuphead DLC, Dying Light 2, and Forza Horizon 4 were also featured. But perhaps the biggest win for Microsoft is the title that they ended their showcase with, Cyberpunk 2077. From the makers of The Witcher 3, Cyberpunk 2077 has been one of the most highly anticipated titles in recent history. It's a new IP set in the future that gives us some serious Blade Runner vibes. The trailer showed off more about the world of the game, but didn't give us a release date. In our number 2 spot is Bethesda. Bethesda was arguably the second biggest conference to make waves. Their Fallout 76 reveal was perhaps one of the biggest moments of E3 altogether. Available November 14, 2018, Fallout 76 is a game entirely online, but with solo and multiplayer options. You exit Vault 76 into a wasteland set in the hills of West Virginia 20 years after the war. It's a completely different and untamed wasteland though, and the game is really optimized for collaborative multiplayer gameplay. You can build together, fight together, and even hunt down nuclear missile sites together, which you can collect launch codes for. You can then do whatever you want with that missile, meaning you can drop it wherever your heart desires. The Wolfenstein franchise also got some big announcements. Not only is the new Colossus available for Nintendo Switch, but the series is also getting 2 new games. One a VR game titled Cyberpilot, where you play as a hacker who hacks Nazi tech, turning it on its masters. The second is a follow-up to the new Colossus, titled Youngblood, in which you play as BJ's twin daughters in 1980s Paris, following in their father's footsteps with the Resistance. And because it's twins, there's an option for co-op along with single player. In addition to that, Doom 2 was announced, and we got some gameplay footage from Rage 2. But if Fallout, Wolfenstein, and Doom didn't do it for you, this just might. Bethesda not only announced new DLCs for Elder Scrolls Online and a new groundbreaking mobile Elder Scrolls game called Blades, oh no, they also announced that Elder Scrolls 6 is officially in development. And pretty much everyone lost their shit. So what could top a conference with both Fallout 76 and massive Elder Scrolls reveals? Well, the second to last conference of E3 did. But first, before we get to there, let's talk about honorable mentions. Nintendo, who is known for its meticulous work ethic when it comes to its games, really showed up this year with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, detailing all of the major new improvements and advances the game entails. They also showcased Super Mario Party, and their new Pokemon games for the Switch, Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, which is described as a more casual Pokemon trainer RPG that you can integrate your Pokemon Go captures with. Unfortunately, Nintendo didn't show up with anything concerning Metroid Prime. They hinted to a new installment in the franchise last year, but there was no mention of it at this year's E3. Ubisoft also had some hits on its hands, including Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which news of its existence leaked prior to E3. It boasts some improved game mechanics along with more emphasis on it being more of an RPG, with branching quests, multiple dialogue options, romantic options, and alternate endings. You can also play as a woman or a man, which is pretty cool. Ubisoft also showed off more of Beyond Good and Evil 2, which had no release date, and it also exhibited more of its multiplayer pirate game Skull and Bones. But now on to the real winner of E3 2018, Sony. Sony's PlayStation press conference gave us everything we really wanted. In other words, they gave us a whole lot on The Last of Us Part 2. The Last of Us is arguably one of the most important games in recent history, setting a new bar for the kinds of narrative stories that developers are striving to tell, all while giving us a game that had a ton of meat on its bones, and never failed to immerse and entertain players. And from the looks of it, The Last of Us Part 2 will be no different. Although it seems that this time around the game's story will focus more so on Ellie than Joel, Joel being fairly absent in all 3 of the trailers that have appeared since last E3, although it's worth noting he did make an appearance in one of them, but we only really see a silhouette. This trailer though showed us Ellie, all grown up, featured in a stunning and very human cinematic, in which she shares a kiss with a new romantic interest. This transitions seamlessly into gameplay footage that focused on a combination of stealth and melee combat, featured some new subtle advancements that we can expect from the title. Needless to say, everyone had their minds blown by how amazing it was, and we can't wait for more. The only downside though? Well, Sony didn't announce a release date. Aside from that colossal reveal, Sony showed off more of its anticipated titles, including Hideo Kojima's Death Stranding, Marvel's Spider-Man game, which is set to release September 7, 2018, and Resident Evil 2. Alright, there we have it friends, which which press conference was your favorite, and what games are you looking forward to the most? Let us know in those comments below. If you missed any of E3 and want to check out the highlights from your favorite publishers and developers, be sure to head on over to Top 10 Gaming and subscribe for all things E3 and gaming in general, from highlights, updates, news, and lists. Thanks for watching, everybody.